9 News starts with breaking news.
That breaking news: charges have been filed against 2 adults. The new details we've learned in the last hour about the suspects from Wednesday's shooting right after the parade rally.
We're catching up with Missouri Governor Mike Parson. He shares his experience on that day and what we could see from Jefferson City.
And we're learning how Lisa Lopez Galvin's family plans to remember her. The details of her services being shared nearly 1 week after her death. We begin with that breaking news from the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office. Good afternoon, I'm Laura Moritz.
And I'm Kelly Eckerman. KMBC 9's Matt Evans was at the news conference where she announced those charges. And Matt, these new charges are against 2 adults, not the 2 teens already in custody.
That's right. It should be noted, Kelly, that there are now 4 people facing charges in that Chiefs parade shooting from last week, including those 2 juveniles and now 2 adults whose charges were unsealed just hours ago, earlier on this afternoon. And also the prosecutor mentioning today that more charges could still be coming in the coming days and the coming weeks. Here's what we know about those charges filed today. Now, it should be noted both the people facing charges were shot and they are still in the hospital today. Lindell Mays of Raytown, Missouri, and Dominic Miller of Kansas City are each facing second-degree murder charges, unlawful use of a weapon, and 2 counts each of armed criminal action. Prosecutors say they got into some kind of an argument right after the rally ended, and that resulted in both of them shooting at each other and into the crowd.
That argument very quickly escalated to Mays drawing his firearm, a handgun. Mays pulled his handgun first. Almost immediately, others pulled their firearms. Defendant Miller was one of those individuals.
And prosecutors believe it was a bullet from defendant Miller's gun that killed Lisa Lopez Galvin. Now, as far as exactly the relation between these 2, according to prosecutors, they did not know each other before this argument and before the rally. They also would not comment if either one are connected to those 2 juveniles that are also facing charges. They also wouldn't say exactly how many other shooters or suspects they may still be looking for, as this is still a very active investigation, according to the prosecutors. Although they do say that they expect more charges very soon. Both Miller and Mays still in the hospital, but when they're released, they'll be held on $1 million bond. Live in downtown, Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
If you were hurt at all, even if it was not by gunfire, here's the number you can call: 816-234-5043. Investigators want to hear from you as they continue looking into this case.
Now, Missouri Governor Mike Parson was among the hundreds of thousands of people at last Wednesday's rally.
And KMBC 9's Andy Alcock joins us live outside Union Station after speaking to him about that day. Andy?
Laura and Kelly, Governor Parson tells us he was on the opposite part of the stage from where the shooting took place. Earlier in the day, the governor rode in the parade, and then later he spoke at the rally. This afternoon, we caught up with him at a ribbon cutting for new clothing rental business in Raymore. Governor Parson tells us his security team heard the gunshots. He says that team made sure he and the First Lady were safe and took them to waiting vehicles. Today, Governor Parson talked about the community moving forward.
It was just such a great moment, a great celebration to end the way it did. And, you know, we just got to figure out how we heal now, how we deal, how all the families that were involved, how they get through it, and as we move on. But it's just it's an unfortunate tragedy for just some people that were out there just being criminals.
And Governor Parson also said today the 2 teens facing charges in this case should be tried as adults. Reporting live at Union Station, Andy Alcock, KMBC 9 News.